Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. I'm your host Jamie, and today's theme of the episode is cheating stories. Are they cheating? What do we think? And that's really about it. Get your waters out. Actually, why did I say get your waters out? Not me. Okay, get your water out, guys. Seriously. I'm trying to be motivating here. No, I'm just kidding. I just said that because I have water, like this giant ass 64-ounce insulated water bottle, because I've been on my water drinking grind lately and I've been trying to be healthy. So, yeah, get out your drinks and let's get into the episode. The title of the first story is titled My Wife Returned from a Work Retreat with a Hickey. She swears it's a bug bite, but I'm not convinced. I'm at a loss. How do I move forward? I'm 27 male in a fight with my wife, 28 female. We've had fights before, but not this bad. I'm at a loss on how to proceed. For context, we're college sweethearts, married for almost 6 years. We have a daughter, 4 female. Our relationship was never perfect or without challenges. We've faced some family opposition with cultural differences, but we've made it work. She's my first love and my best friend. My wife works in corporate. Her job has annual work retreats that last for about a week. This year was in Vegas. I usually arrange my work schedule and tag along with her, and we make our own trip out of it. We couldn't this year. Our daughter gets major anxiety traveling long distances. We're working on it, but she wasn't budging, and we decided to choose our battles. So I stood behind and held down the fort at home. The change of plans was a bummer because the trip was part of us reconnecting as both a couple and as a family. My wife's work hours have taken a toll, and her work/life balance leaves much to be desired. We entertain the idea of her skipping the retreat. Attendance is optional, but it's generally frowned upon if you don't, and my wife's making connections in her field. She grew increasingly weird. We have a system. If either of us is away for extended periods, we keep in contact. For the first day or so, she was herself, but she grew distant. I'd even text about important stuff and be left on read while she claimed she never saw my text. Whenever we talked, she was rushing me or our daughter off the phone. These were all times she wasn't involved in retreat activities. We were supposed to have a mini birthday celebration for our daughter over FaceTime. Our daughter was excited. It was something my wife promised her because the retreat overlapped her actual birthday. But my wife backed out because she had people up to her room after a seminar. It was like she wanted my permission to break her promise to our daughter. I told her I wasn't offering that nor making her keep her word. She said I wasn't being fair, and this was a networking opportunity. They were business oriented and wouldn't understand her stepping away for family time. I said her decision is her decision, but she'd have to explain it to our daughter. She promised that she'd rain check for the following day. Our daughter didn't understand and she cried. My wife ended up hanging up and leaving me to comfort our daughter alone. That whole incident rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. She didn't keep her word for the rain check either. She was documenting the retreat on social media. One coworker, 23 male, was almost in every pic/video attached to her hip. In one picture, had his arm too comfortably around her, in my opinion. He's a recent hire in my wife's department. She was asked to oversee him. I don't like the guy. He doesn't know boundaries. Once, in response to a work assignment, he texted my wife that she's exactly the kind of woman he needs to keep him in check. My wife had brushed it off. She feels bad for him because he's not fitting in. She took him under her wing during his first retreat with the team. If I'd questioned, she'd say that she was tired or networking. There was always something. But I've seen her at these retreats. This wasn't like her. She was just off. The day before her return home, she complained about a bruise on her neck. She stressed it was a bug bite. I didn't actually see the bruise until she came home. I instantly thought it was a full-on hickey. She kind of brushed it off after making a big deal of it over the phone. I didn't push because our daughter was present. But when I was able to confront her, she clung to her bug bite claim. When I kept pushing, she asked what I was trying to imply. I outright said I believed she had a hickey, and I didn't believe she was being honest with me. We had it out then. She was offended and pissed at the accusation. Infidelity has always been a sore topic. Her family has a history of infidelity, so we had a pretty bad fight, and she accused me of looking to pick a fight due to the incident with our daughter's birthday. I told her it had nothing to do with that and everything to do with the hickey on her neck. The fight ended in an impasse. We're still not recovered. She swears it's a bug bite, but I'm not convinced. I've always trusted my wife. I never doubted her. But this bruise doesn't look like a bug bite. It looks like a hickey. I only feel more strongly when I consider how distant and weird she was during the Vegas retreat. Now she's wearing turtlenecks ever since. We're caught between arguing and her dousing our daughter and me with affection. Communication usually prevails for us, but not now. I think my accusation pushed us to a new level of argument. I'm at a loss here. I really need outside perspectives. How do I move forward? Okay, give me a picture. Show me a damn picture because I can tell if it's a bug bite or a damn hickey. Are you kidding me? Those things are not the same. Those things are not even similar in the slightest. Hickeys don't have bumps and they typically aren't discolored, if not like maybe a little pinkish red. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Let me know if you've ever had a bug bite that looks like a hickey because in my opinion, I think it's a very clear distinction between the two. So if you are like, if you are saying that it's a hickey and you're like 100% sure that it's a hickey and not a bug bite, then I believe you because I don't think that you get the two confused. Like, yeah, maybe a curling iron burn. I mean, for the love of God, why? I feel like maybe, I don't know, is she stupid? Because if she really wanted to pretend and she, or lie to him and she really did cheat on him, wouldn't she make up something more believable or is she just kind of dumb? Because I feel like you would just say, "Oh, it's a burn from my straightener or my curling iron or something." Like that's more believable because those two looks more similar than a bug bite. Like a bug bite. Also, it's a little sketchy that she was very much going off about how she was like so annoyed by the fact that she had it. Like that kind of shows that you're setting something up to cover up, you know? But there's an update, so we're going to read it. Okay. My wife returned from a work retreat with a hickey. She swears it's a bug bite, but I'm not convinced. I'm at a loss. How do I move forward? Update. I, 27 male, wanted to give an update and thank everyone who reached out. The outside perspectives helped. Things are a roller coaster. I'm trying to process. It took a while for my wife, 28 female, and me to have any real conversation about the bruise on her neck. We were stuck between arguing and her showing our daughter, 4 female, and me affection. I rarely saw the bruise because she was turtlenecked up, but I did note the healing process from reddish purple to yellow. There wasn't any more discussion about the Vegas retreat. She made it clear she was done talking about it and that she shouldn't need to defend herself to her husband. I told her she could do whatever she wanted, but I was done being treated like an idiot and I wasn't sharing a bed with someone that I couldn't trust. So I moved into the guest room. Communication stopped. The silences were palpable. Even our daughter noticed, and I'm not proud of that. I try keeping her out of fights. My wife came to the guest room one night and asked if we could talk. I could tell she'd been crying. She said she hated the way things were between us. She felt like she was losing me either way. I told her I needed complete honesty. She confessed that she hooked up with that coworker, 23 male, on our daughter's birthday. The hickey was from him. She was lost in the heat of the moment and didn't realize he was sucking so hard on her neck. By her account, they made out while doing some on top of the clothes stuff, and then he went down on her. It stopped there because he called her by a nickname that I affectionately call her, and it snapped her back to the reality of her actions. She went to splash water on her face and saw the hickey. The guy made light of it and made a joke about the hickey being her souvenir. She blew up on him and kicked him out of her suite. Part of the reason she was avoiding me was because of guilt. She said she's coming clean because she doesn't want to hide things anymore. I asked her why she cheated. What was it about that guy she deemed worth risking everything? She claimed it wasn't him specifically, nor is she unhappy with our marriage. She doesn't really know how to explain it, but a part of her feels broken. The more she looks in the mirror, the more she sees her dad, 57 male, a cycle of being consumed with work, distant from the child, and the infidelity he put her mom, 55 female, through. She said her family never talked about anything openly, and how when she was growing up, my mother-in-law never addressed anything with her. I said her parents didn't make her cheat. She chose to party up with a guy who constantly disrespected our relationship. These were all her decisions, and she at any point could have chosen our family. She agreed. She wants to blame her parents, but realizes this is on her. She apologized for cheating and for entertaining the guy's advances. She said she'll do whatever it takes to repair, go to HR, quit her job, counseling, anything. She wants to make everything right. I told her I don't know what right looks like, or if it's even possible for us anymore. I knew we had our problems, but I thought there wasn't anything we couldn't talk about. She insisted we still could talk it out. We didn't have to give up on us. She tried giving this rally cry for our relationship, but I felt very numb. I said I didn't recognize her, not just the betrayal of our vows, but also how she treated our daughter. She's like a stranger. She feels she failed as a wife and as a mom, but she loves us both beyond words and wants our life and our family intact. I told her I couldn't give her the answer she wanted and thought that we needed to separate and reevaluate. She didn't want separation. She felt that we should stay together in our home, but I told her separation was happening. Either she was leaving the home or I was with our daughter. She consented to leaving so as to best not uproot our daughter so much. She asked for our daughter not to be taken away from her. My wife's staying with my in laws. I know that's difficult in itself because she doesn't have the best relationship with her parents. One of the hardest parts is the shift for our daughter. Right now, she believes her mom's just busy with work, per usual. She hasn't questioned it much. My mother in law called the other day. She made no excuses for my wife, but she's advocating for us to work through it. She told me times when. She told me times when she heard my wife describe me as the anchor she always wanted. She believes there's something worth fighting for if I'm open. Despite some family opposition we faced through our relationship, my mother in law was always a supporter of us. I'm even more at a loss. I never imagined this kind of betrayal from my wife. She was my safe place. I feel numb, yet broken. I'm in love with her. That hasn't changed. But I don't see myself, her, our relationship, or our family the same. Everything's more tense because it's fresh. I think this period of separation is for the best. I'm not sure about divorce. I haven't let myself fully get there. I'm not set either way. I don't know where things go from here, but I'm focusing on our daughter and taking things one step at a time. I feel that's all I can do right now. Thanks again to everyone for the support. It's much appreciated. For me, it was a red flag that he was making it known our relationship. Like, I get that every relationship has its challenges, but I feel like if you have to fully nail in the fact that our relationship has had many challenges, many ups and downs and all that. That's like giving Instagram caption where it's like the couple that literally cheats on each other all the time breaks up 100 times and they make that long ass 3 paragraph caption about how our relationship has been through so many ups and downs, but I love you and you're my everything and you treat me like a queen. And it's like they're trying to convince, I don't know who, themselves or the audience looking at the picture, but they're trying to convince themselves that their relationship isn't shitty, or I don't know, I guess just put on a facade that it's not. And that's kind of what it's giving to me, because it's like, yes, I do think that obviously every relationship comes with challenges, but to a certain extent, if the relationship is genuinely just challenge after challenge after challenge, or it's like a big challenge, I don't think that is like a good relationship. And I'm very much an advocate for the fact that relationships shouldn't be hard. Obviously, you go through things together, but it shouldn't be something that you fight for. It shouldn't be something that is like, oh, it's so it's you fight for it every day. It's really hard. Relationships are really hard. I do agree to a certain extent, but I feel like it's just so societally accepted that oh, relationships are supposed to be hard. But I truly think that if you're with the right person, I don't think that it should be that hard. I get that you go through struggles, but I don't think that it should be so much to the point where you're having to hammer in the fact that you went through so many challenges. There's so many challenges in your relationship in the past, and so many things you guys went through and all of this stuff. I don't know, it's just giving that maybe your relationship was supposed to end a little bit sooner, but you stayed in it for a little bit longer than you were really intended to or supposed to. But obviously everyone takes takes situations at their own strides. But in my opinion, would I wouldn't be able to trust anyone after they cheated on me, and I don't think that it's worth being with someone if they cheat on you. I genuinely just don't think that's worth it. I think that's the biggest betrayal ever, and it's just too hard. Obviously it's up to you and it's your decision if you really want to work through that and really want to put yourself through that. And sure, I'm sure in some cases it does work out and it ends up coming you end up coming out on the other side better. But I feel like for the most part, statistically, if you work things out after cheating, I feel like it just usually ends badly, or the relationship just turns toxic and tumultuous, and I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, obviously they have a kid and they're married, so who am I to say what to do? It's obviously a way different situation than I would be currently in if my boyfriend cheated on me. We just lived together, which it would still be very hard because I would have to figure out, where to go, and we would have to figure out all of that stuff. But so I can really only imagine how hard it would be, but I feel like it's just not worth it. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's better to just, separate and show your kid that it you still can be civil and still like love each other from a distance. Even if you hate each other deep down, it's better to like kind of put on that facade for your kid so that they can see they're not growing up in like that toxic environment of their parents fighting all the time or their divorced parents fighting all the time, like whether they're together or not. But okay, let's read some comments. The thing that would break my trust the most is she swore it was a bug bite. By her own story, she had a revelation that things had gone too far, but instead of being upfront about the affair, even when directly asked, she doubled down on it being a bug bite. I couldn't trust someone that did that ever again. I agree. And also, not only that, but she was just so defensive about it all. Like, I don't need to defend myself. No, you do need to defend yourself, actually, especially if you're lying to my face. Having been to Vegas in the dry desert heat, I don't remember there being any bugs. Plausible story in a swampy place like New Orleans. I'd have already had my hand on the doorknob when she decided to take a voluntary work trip that coincided with their daughter's fourth birthday. I'd be down the road and across a burned out bridge if it turned out that she used that trip to cheat. Yeah, I followed this as it was going. There's no coming back from the way she lied and lied her ass off to him, let alone brushing it aside. Her brushing aside her own daughter for that affair. Yeah, that's honestly something that I didn't even like talk about, but that's diabolical to me. That's actually really crazy that she missed her daughter's birthday to hook up with a guy. That's so messed up and so crazy. I actually can't believe that. Ew. That's actually so scary. I hate that so much. The next story is titled, Am I the asshole for kicking out my husband after he went to go see and comfort his ex girlfriend? I, 32 female, and my husband, 38 male, have been married for 3 years. Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but we're a relatively happy couple. Though in the beginning of our relationship, he was also dating Angela, 24 female, 5 years ago. I was unaware of this other relationship, but when I found out, I confronted him and he told me that since we weren't officially dating, that he didn't know we were exclusive. I told him that if he didn't cut off this relationship with Angela, that I was going to break it off. We left it at that, and we didn't talk for a while when he came to my apartment unexpectedly weeks later, saying it was over with Angela and that he wanted to try again and asked me to be his girlfriend. Ever since then, we have been a pretty normal couple. We have our moments, but our relationship is going good, and I believe he is my soulmate. Recently, there's been an issue in our relationship, though. Angela. 3 weeks ago, we were out running errands and went to a small boba shop and just opened up next to our local grocery store. As we were off to the side looking at the menu, from the corner of my eye, I see a woman that looks similar to Angela walk in. I do a double take, and sure enough, it's her. I feel an intense amount of dread and hope that my hubby doesn't see her. As I'm internally panicking, I hear a woman's voice call for my husband. And as you might have guessed, it was Angela. My husband turns around and they have a small but awkward conversation. The whole time I just disassociate and stare off into the distance until she asks my husband, Is that your wife? To which he just nods and holds my hand. I pretty much just awkwardly smile and prayed this encounter would end the whole time. Eventually, she gets in line and we wait behind her. I felt so embarrassed. I immediately got our drinks and leave. That was that until 2 weeks ago when I saw my husband's phone light up to a Facebook Messenger notification. I asked him who it was, as he never uses Messenger. He said it was from an old friend. I asked who, and he said I wouldn't know. I became suspicious, but wasn't necessarily worried because I just assumed it was a friend. Until a few days later when he got another Facebook Messenger notification while I was ordering food off of his phone. It was from Angela. I was shocked and confused. I went to their messages and everything seemed friendly and casual, though because of their history I felt very uncomfortable with them talking. I went up to him and confronted him about the texts and asked why she was texting him. He told me that after running into her, she friended him on Facebook and they began talking. He assured me it was all casual, but I still told him I didn't want him talking to her. He assured me he would stop. I told him to unfriend her, to which he hesitated to, but eventually did. There was no issue or word from Angela until last night, to which from my knowledge she spam messaged my husband and even called him crying, telling him that her mother was sick. I guess he knew her mother and felt sympathy towards her. Angela vented to him about how she had no one and she just needed someone to comfort her. She asked my husband if he could come and be there for her, to which he said yes. I had no idea he was doing this until I saw him putting his shoes on near the door. I asked him where he was going, and he told me the story of Angela's mom and that she needed someone to be with her. I told him not to go, and we had a small argument. He was rushing out the door, so I blocked him in and said that if he was going to go see and comfort his ex-girlfriend, that he wasn't allowed back in. He scoffed and pushed past me. I watched as he left. I went back inside, poured a few drinks while I tried my hardest not to cry and blow up his phone. Eventually, 3 hours passed and he came back home. I sat on the couch during this, and as he came in, I told him that he wasn't allowed to sleep here. He was shocked, and we got into another argument and cut it short. He told me he had nowhere to go, so I told him that maybe he should go to Angela's as they seem to help each other a lot. He then left again, and I haven't heard anything from him. I'm currently staying up and have had a few drinks. I decided to post this on Reddit as I feel I might have overreacted and been an asshole. I just need advice on how to handle this whole situation as I'm barely able to process what to do. I'm sorry if this was long. I needed to vent. Edit. Hi everyone. So many of you. Thank you everyone for commenting. I'm going to respond to some comments right now. Small update, I eventually went to sleep and sent a text that I was sick and wasn't coming into work today. It's currently 2 p.m. where I live, and I've just been napping and kind of out of it. I haven't heard from him at all, and he hasn't come back home. I'm kind of worried as I don't know where he's at. His location has been off since yesterday. I might send him a text later to make sure he's okay. I don't know if this is a good idea as I'm not in the best mindset right now and have been in zombie mode. As of now, I'm trying to process that this even happened because it went by so fast. I'll keep you all updated if anything happens. Thank you all again. What the hell? What? I'm so stressed. Why are you wondering if you're the asshole? You're not. I'm scared. This is actually so crazy because immediately no. Immediately no. Genuinely, Justin Bieber said it best. Immediately no. Like, I've seen all I needed to see, and you guys need to immediately break up because who the hell is this man? Him, oh my god. First of all, let's start with Angela because I'll get to the husband, but really? You see your ex at the grocery store with his wife and you're going to go up to him? Are you kidding? I would rather drag my body against the gravel road naked tied to the back of a F-150 or whatever the hell those trucks are, then go up to my ex and his wife at a grocery store. Huh? Please, for the love of God, give me road burn before any of that happens. Like, no, that will never be happening. Like, oh, you saw me? No, you didn't. Because I did not see you, and I will not be even acknowledging that you are alive or anywhere near me because that's the last thing I want to do. That is the last thing I want to do. Like, sometimes I even see old friends that like we haven't talked in forever, so I know it's going to be so awkward if I like say something to them. And I'm like, I'm grocery shop mode. I don't feel like having an awkward encounter with someone. And especially not my ex who is currently with their girlfriend slash wife. Like, even if I saw my ex with no one, I still wouldn't like, and we're not on bad terms, but I still wouldn't want to say hi. My heart would drop and I'd be like, no, please. I don't have any business talking to you. Genuinely, like, we had our time. It's over. Nothing left to say. Like, oh. Okay, there's an update though, so we're gonna obviously read it, and I hope that she is doing okay, but am I the asshole for kicking out my husband after he went to go see and comfort his ex-girlfriend? Update. Trigger warning, self-harm. So if you're triggered by self-harm, you can go forward. There's going to be timestamps on this episode, so just go forward to the next story. Don't get triggered. Don't want you to get triggered. Okay. Hi everyone. It's been 8 days since I posted my original post, and I finally have an update for you all. I'm sorry it took long, but I've been sick. This is going to be so long, so I apologize, as I have to address a few things. I want to first say thank you to those who gave helpful and supportive comments, and to those that said I drove my husband straight to another woman's arms, or I was hostile and controlling. First, if my husband was willing to go to another woman in an argument with his wife, then is he really my husband? I mean, I have some standards to not marry an awful person. Second, to those that said I was controlling and hostile towards Angela, if you have a partner and are okay with them doing something like this, then that's something within your boundaries, not mine. I don't like having contact with exes or having my husband be in contact with his. Finally, the age gap. I explained the story of how they met and such on and such on a comment, but to sum it up, she had originally lied about her age. I didn't know her age or anything about her until I was engaged. Okay, on to what happened. He eventually came home later that day. I was watching TV on the couch when he walked in. We looked at each other and didn't say anything. He went to our room, took a shower, and fell asleep. I was still upset with him, so I avoided going to check up on him or even talk to him, so I waited in the living room slash kitchen until a few hours later when he woke up. I decided to make dinner. He came out, sat on the couch, and we ate in silence before he asked if I wanted to talk. I said I did, and he explained what happened. From what he told me, when he saw her at the boba shop, she had friended him on Facebook later that day. He didn't friend her back, though, and he ignored it. And eventually, a few days later, she sent him a message request. This is when he handed me his phone to see the messages. To sum it up, she texted him a few times over a range of days without an answer, from pleasantries, updates about her life, and finally, an unaliving, threatening message. Now, I don't know what is allowed to be said in this subreddit, but my husband did respond out of worry for another person, or so he claimed. They talked a lot about her addictions, SH, and other very personal things relating to that. Through reading, I did find out that she had a boyfriend and that he was actually 51 years old. My husband calmed her down and they stopped talking for a few days when she reached out again and said the same thing. This repeated again, where he wouldn't respond until she guilted him to. When I had found out and told him to block her, he actually didn't block her out of fear, but he didn't respond to her messages until that night. She actually sent very concerning messages beforehand and called him on Messenger. He answered and he said that she was wailing and screaming in pain. Now, I don't want to say too much, but she had told him she attempted by taking a bunch of pills because of her mother, which is why he rushed to her. When he got there, he told me she was acting strangely and almost pretending to have done what she did. He tried to get her to the hospital, to which she refused. After pleading for a while, he was getting ready to call 911 when she confessed she didn't actually take any of the pills. He was confused and asked why she said that she did. She couldn't give him a clear answer. My husband was going to leave when she begged him to let her explain again. She said her mom is the only person who cares about her and that she needed somebody with her after she found out that she was sick and that she had no one but my husband and my husband wouldn't come otherwise unless it was urgent. My husband wasn't buying it, so he asked if her mom was even sick, to which she denied it but seemed to be lying. My husband then left. He told me he just stayed in her car for a while before coming back home, and that's when the confrontation happened. He said he was very tired and felt horrible, so he wasn't in the right headspace to explain right then and there. He also told me he didn't go back to Angela's, but instead just stayed in his car, got food, and pretty much wandered town until he got home later that day. After this, I felt very overwhelmed. I usually like to take time to myself to process things before making a decision or responding, so I told him I needed some time. I didn't interact with him until the next morning and told him I needed more time before talking to him again and was going to stay with my parents for a few days. And now we're here. A few days actually turned into a week because as soon as I got here, I got sick. So I haven't felt good enough to even drive back home, much less process or think much. I secretly don't even know how or what to do. Like, how do we just go back to normal? I still feel betrayed, and even though he didn't cheat, I don't trust him, and I don't know if he's even telling the truth. I mean, divorce is extreme for something so minor, but I don't know. I have to go back home tomorrow as I feel a bit better, and I can't hide out here forever, and I have responsibilities. Even though it's been a nice escape and being with my family has been great, I haven't talked much to my husband except through text, so tomorrow will be our first face to face conversation in a week. So that's the update. What actually reminded me to do this update was I got a random message request on Instagram a few hours ago from a burner account. It's a picture and I'm kind of scared to open it. I know it's probably a scam thing, but something in my gut is telling me it's connected to Angela and I don't know if I should open it. Update. So I opened the picture. It was a screenshot from what I assume is Angela's private story of her in lingerie with a caption that says, "She'll just have to taste me when she's kissing him." Wait, sorry? Not the Sabrina Carpenter. Wait, I'm scared of that. That's actually really scary. Who in the hell sent you that is what I want to know. A random message request from a burner account? What's going on? What's happening? How come? What the hell? I'm actually so scared. No. Sorry, but okay, first of all, it's not your husband's responsibility to be, you know, like, of course, as you are a human with empathy, you see that kind of message, and of course, you want to be a hero, and of course, you want to come rescue this person. But unfortunately, like, if someone genuinely wants to harm themselves or unalive themselves, they're going to do it, and bring you into it is very irresponsible. And I'm not saying that, you know, obviously people that are in that mindset are not thinking straight. And so I can understand why that happens, but it's not your responsibility, especially because you have a wife. You don't need to get involved in that at all. Like, you just don't. And I know that it's like, I know that it's hard, okay? Because I can honestly say that I don't really, like, if my ex was texting me saying all that stuff, like, yeah, I would be very concerned. I would probably reach out to his family or something and be like, hey, just to let you know this is happening. And that's as far as it would go with me. Like, I wouldn't be trying to message back saying, oh my God, no, 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 or like, I'm going to come over and help you. That is as far as it would go. Like, I would inform someone close to him that this was happening, and that's as far as it would go, especially out of respect to my relationship. Like, also, if that's what was happening, why didn't he just communicate that to his wife? Why didn't he just say, look at this, like, she's threatening to unalive herself, like, I'm really scared, obviously, you know, I don't want that to be like in my hands, or I just don't want, in general, I don't want a person to do that, especially someone that I cared for at one point. You know, communicate with your wife. Like, that's kind of what you do. I don't think that this is minor. I think that this is really messed up. And I think that you can't really trust him, because only God knows if he's making up this entire story just to cover up that he cheated. But I mean, it is a very elaborate story, so call this man a damn philosopher, because if he made that story up, he is a damn good storyteller. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I personally think that relationship is over. Like, I just do. Even though you don't know, or this, like, say you want to believe that this story happened, there's still so many other things that's wrong with that. Like, you didn't tell me, you left scoffing, pushing me out of the way, knowing that I thought that you were going to see your ex because she was sad over her mom. Really? Why didn't you just say, I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy that story. I think that if he had time to explain that, he could have explained the actual situation, and then what? And then maybe she could have been more understanding, or been like, "Okay, I'll come with you." If that's really what he wanted to do. But it's giving lies, it's giving cheater, it's giving, I don't believe it. Sorry, but I don't. You just came up with that story. You went and stayed the night in your car, and you were thinking of a damn game plan, and you were like, "What can I do to cover the fact that I just cheated on my wife up?" That's what happened. And I think if I were in this position, the relationship would be over. It would have been over the minute he is entertaining an ex. Because why? Because how come? How come, Papa? Why? Okay. We're going to move on to the next story, though. The title is, Am I overreacting after seeing a picture of my partner and work spouse from when they probably booked a secret weekend trip? My partner, 30, and I, 28, have been together for 3 years. 6 months ago, they befriended a coworker, Jay. At first, it was harmless. Jay is helping me with the project, late into midnight. Then came the inside jokes, late night Slack pings in our bed, and Jay's emergency calls, even during our dates. I voiced discomfort, but my partner insisted that I'm just being paranoid and that they're work spouses. I always hated that term. Or is it just a cultural difference? I am from South Asia and my partner is from Western Europe. 2 weeks ago, I noticed a picture in my partner's trash folder. My partner with Jay in a selfie half naked in a sauna during a work retreat. Metadata showed the location to be a secluded cabin for rent 2 hours from where the work retreat was held. Confronted, my partner claimed the place where the work retreat was scheduled was overbooked, and it was the venue that booked the cabin for them. My partner again reiterated that I was being paranoid and that this is common, and it all comes down to cultural differences. I'm freaking the F out. I have no way to verify my partner's claims. Am I overreacting? Baby, he's gaslighting you. Gaslight, if I've ever seen it. There's some edits, though, so we're going to read them. Thank you all for being sympathetic in the comments. I feel like I'm at the wake for my relationship. My English might not be good, so thank you for understanding. Sorry if I haven't responded to your comments yet. I'm reading them and freaking out so bad and hyperventilating. Some context, my partner has been truthful and kind all the years I've known him until right now. I moved to my partner's country 2 years ago after a year of dating in my country. There's a lot of cultural differences, like night and day, and my partner has been my guide through it all. So when I confronted him about the picture and they said it's cultural, I had to believe it. But tonight, it's 3 a.m. here. I couldn't sleep and I kept having this nagging feeling of what if. I'm going to call the venue as some of you suggested. Although the region we are in and where the retreat happened is remote enough that the nearest possible accommodation could be really 2 hours away. Edit 2. Just woke up after a bit of sleep, still in panic mode. My partner is gone to the office. I took the day off. To those calling this BS, I hope you never face this kind of situation ever. To those sending me chat requests, please don't. Even if you're doing this out of sympathy, I will most probably end up deleting this account as this blew up. I will post an update before deletion. I will be snooping around before I confront my partner again, but thanks again for the well wishes, advices, and everything. You've made this experience a bit less unsufferable. Um, no. No. Please. Stop believing men. Stop believing these men that are telling these lies, blatant lies out of their literal buttholes. Like, oh, sorry, you know what? They didn't even refer to this person. They didn't say they're referring to both them and their partner as they. So I can't even assume that this is a man, but that's just what my mind goes to. So I'm so sorry about that. But I just realized that I just assumed that was a man. Do you blame me though? Do you blame me? So but yeah, this person is lying. Regardless, this person is lying. I genuinely am so confused as to why what are you going to do 2 hours away? You're going to drive 2 hours every single day for the work retreat? What do you mean? What? That makes no sense. That's actually, no, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. No work retreat is going to be like, oh, they're overbooked, so you have to stay 2 hours away. You might as well just go back home. Are you kidding? 2 hours away? And also, yeah, you're staying with this person as well. Huh? No. I'm not, actually. Thanks, though. Like, no. I mean, I would love more context, but just a little confused as to why that would ever be the case. Overbooked, so we booked you a cabin 2 hours away so that you guys can have your own work retreat all by yourselves. That makes no sense. This makes no sense. This is so dumb to me. Not that this person is dumb, but this excuse that their partner is using is dumb to me because I don't know, you pulled that out of your damn ass. Not okay, we're reading some comments. Not overreacting. Maybe it's just my marriage, but if his work retreat was overbooked and he had to stay in a private unit with a coworker, the first thing he'd do is call me. Your gut is screaming at you for a reason. A lot of suspicious activity going on there. Someone said no employer is going to book separate accommodations in a luxury retreat 2 hours from the actual venue. Exactly. Because why? 2 hours? No employer is going to book a male and female employee in the same cabin. I work in insurance and I can't imagine what the event policy would even say about that, let alone HR. Well, see, that's the thing that I also assumed. There are no genders mentioned. So, someone said, I've traveled for work for a few conferences and I don't even have to share a room with the same sex colleague if I don't want to. The company pays for the rooms that are needed. I can't imagine them agreeing to this. I don't believe for a second the boyfriend story is true. I love how everyone's just assuming that it's a boyfriend. That's so funny. But also, yes, because I don't think that is a thing. Like I don't think on a work retreat you are like paired up to stay with your coworkers. That's a little weird to me. Someone said, yeah, his story makes no sense. And even if it were real, he should have stepped up and said, hey, my girlfriend wouldn't be comfortable with me sharing a cabin alone with you way out in the woods. Is it okay if we swap with someone else? I would appreciate it. No, seriously, like what? What do you mean? Someone said, your partner is cheating. I'm sorry. And then this person said, I read the post quickly and don't recall seeing that this was posted by a female. I only see once where in responses that their partner is a he. Okay, so it is a he. So it is a he. Okay, I assumed right. I assumed correct, but I don't know what they're commenting. I haven't seen any comments from OP, but that's because they deleted their accounts. So unfortunately, I can't even see what they're saying back to other people. But I'm sorry, I can't. Your partner is cheating on you, and that's that. That is that. Don't believe those bullshit stories that these people tell you. All of these stories have one thing in common, and that is that these cheaters need to take I don't even know, like an IQ test or something and work on their IQ or something, because for me it's giving, what would make you think that someone would believe that bullshit of a story? That absolute dumpster fire of a story. These are all so funny of excuses to me. It's like, oh, it's not a hickey, it's a bug bite. Huh? That's the last thing that you should say. And then, oh, yeah, sorry, but she was threatening to unalive herself, so I went to her house, even though I didn't tell you that. I told you a completely different story before I left. Like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? But they didn't claim to be smart, right? Right? I don't know. I'm being very harsh, but I think they deserve it. If you're a cheater, you deserve to be shat on, genuinely. Because, and then also not only that, but to, well, you know what? The first girl, okay, she finally admitted, which good on her, because that's the thing that I was going to say is like, especially if you're going out of your way so hard to try to cover it up and try to make excuses and try to lie your way out of it and gaslight your partner, that is one thing. But if you're going to cheat, at least admit that you cheated. At least say, you know, I effed up, I cheated. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's the story. And I'm not going to try to make you believe some dumb story that I pulled out of my anus crack, because that's just so silly. And that's just like assuming that your partner is dumb. That's just assuming the other person on the other end of the cheating is so dumb that they'll believe anything. Like, oh yeah, and when pigs fly. When pigs fly. But that's the end of the story time, guys. Did I can't remember if I did an advice question last time, but I'm unfortunately skipping that again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Sorry, but it's not that I don't feel like it, it's that my computer's about to die and I don't want it to die in the middle of me reading that advice question, and I also don't feel like getting up and going to get my charger right now, so I'm just going to say that I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit, and that is all, okay? Oh, wait, did I tell you guys that I actually got a membership at this gym, and it finally opened last week? I think I did. It finally opened last week, and it's like a really nice gym, and it has massage chairs, it has cryotherapy, it has like that little, I forget what it's called, like Nurtec, Norda, Nordatec something for your legs, like the compression. Then there's an infrared sauna, there's a cold plunge, a hot plunge, and there's like regular saunas as well. And I think that's it. There's, yeah. So I've been working out every day since then. Since it opened on Wednesday, I went when it opened, and it was so damn busy. I felt, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, there's too many people here. But it was kind of fun as well, because it was like a little party. I was there for so long because I was trying everything and like using every appliance amenity possible. And it was fun. But so ever since then, after my workout, I'll do like a little recovery process. I'll either like do the massage chair, or I'll do the compression thing for your legs, or I'll do the cryotherapy. But every single time I do the cold plunge. And the first day, I can't remember, I think it was like so cold. The first day that I did the cold plunge, I actually think I stayed for like a minute and a half the first day, maybe. And then the second day, I stayed for 3 minutes. And then I stayed for 6 minutes, which I've heard is like the max that you should do. So I've just been doing 6 minutes ever since. But every day the temperature is different. And I swear to you that today it was literally like 40, 35, 40 degrees. It felt the coldest that it's felt. And the other day it was 45 and I stayed for 6 minutes. And today I stayed for 6 minutes and did my body was unwell after that. Like I couldn't feel my hands for so long. And honestly, I'm like, I know that it's good for you, but I don't know. Sometimes when I get out of there, I'm like, wait, am I going to get frostbite? Like what are the conditions in which you get frostbite or like hypothermia? Like I'm sure if I stayed in for like a long time, I'd probably get hypothermia, but I don't know. I know it's good for you though. So that's why I'm doing it. And it's also like a mental thing. Like it's a mental challenge, which I like, because it's like, oh, I can do this. Like I can push through the pain the first minute of like being so cold and frozen to death. And then I can come out the other side and I can do 6 minutes and then I'm like fine. And honestly, I could do even longer because by that point my body's like numb, so I don't feel anything. But yeah, so I've been loving it. And then also I got Chili's on Friday. I got the triple dipper. I got Chipotle honey chicken crispers, and then I got the Southwest egg rolls, and then I got the new Nashville hot mozzarella sticks, which are insanely cheesy. Like, I can't believe how much cheese is in that damn thing, brother. So much cheese. But I don't know if I would get those again. I've never been a huge fan of mozzarella sticks, so I don't know. I did like them. I honestly liked them better. Like, I heated them up a little bit more because they were like a little cold by the time I got home, but they were really good heated up, like super hot with the cheese super melty. But the chicken crispers are my favorite. My favorite. They're so damn good, and the Chipotle, ooh, so good. I want it. I want it so bad. It's so bad for you, but so good for the soul. So good for my mental health and just like the dopamine, what are they called? Receptors in my brain that go off when I'm eating that food. Mm-mm-mm. So yummy. But yeah, nothing really crazy or fun happened this weekend. It was pretty chill. We have a little bit of a stalker amongst us, but I can't really say much more than that, which is kind of annoying because it's like, it's like private information. But sorry, not to be that annoying bitch that's like, yeah, I have this really funny, cool, the best story you'll ever hear, but I can't tell you. You know, like, I hate when I'm listening to podcasts and it's like they're talking about something and they're like, oh, but I can't say it on here. I'll tell you after. I'm like, cut that part out because now you're killing me. Now I'm dying over here wishing and hoping and praying to hear this amazing story that you just hyped up to me and then cut off. So rude. But yeah, that's really all. Don't have much else to say. I'll keep you guys updated on my life, of course, obviously. Everyone will be updated. I don't know what I'm saying. Am I okay? No. I'm never okay. I'm losing my damn mind over here. That cold plunge got me feeling tired today, honestly. And I know it's supposed to wake you up, but like, I don't know. I feel almost like, or maybe it's just because I'm so sore because I worked out and also slept on my neck wrong last night. So I'm like feeling all sorts of pain in my body and it's making me feel like I'm sick. But yeah, so I'll save you. I'll save you from myself and I'll end the video now. But I love you guys and I hope you have the best day. Love you. Bye. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.